Oh, shit. All right. So American Hammers TV. This is Monday night. This is American Hammer or AHTV and Friends. One of my most favorite shows because I get to pick 3 or 4 of my friends tonight. 3 from all over the world that I want to chat with and discuss some news. Looks like the chat room is moving along nice and heavy with Duncan, Rebecca, Robert. Hey, what's going on, dude? Adam and Tebow and Jazz is in there. Holy crap. All right. So, man, they're all following Charlie. I know this. Jazz, anytime, anytime they can get in there when Jazz. Oh, and Kieran's there too. We just interviewed Kieran on Sunday. Was it Sunday? No, it wasn't Sunday. What day was it?
Saturday, wasn't it?
Saturday. Was it Saturday? I don't even know what day it was. We interviewed Kieran, sorry, and it was great. Go check it out. It was awesome. Great dude from Australia. So anyway, and Tony Pearson's there. We're going to be doing Hammers polls later on if we get bored here. But yeah, first things first. You guys hear about? You see those quotes from Jack Wilshere about he doesn't think that his spell has really gone well with West Ham. Anybody see that?
No, I didn't see the quote.
Oh well, basically he thinks that he's missed too much football, and doesn't think that this spell with West Ham has worked out at all. So, for those of you who've read it, I guess we'll start with Costia, and then Wally, you can comment on their comments. How about that? So, Costia.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm actually looking up right now. Okay, so Kieran Dyer played 30 games for us in a stretch of 4 years. And unfortunately, I think they're kind of similar. They're making a lot of money. Let's see. Yeah, so far, Jack has 14 games officially for us, and he's played half of the time that Kieran Dyer has. So it looks like they'll actually have a very similar record were he to stay here for 2 more years, which I don't think is going to be the case. But yeah, it's really too bad because he's a West Ham fan. There's pictures of him as like a 6-year-old in a West Ham kit. And so that had the potential to be a great story. And because he was fit for most of that time at Bournemouth, I thought there was a chance that it could work out. But it's just a big disappointment. And he knows it, and he's being honest. And maybe MLS is the next best place for him.
Yeah, I think so. But especially with the I don't know. They don't really care if you play a full season. I mean, I remember when Lampard first came here, he didn't really play a full season his first time here, and it took him a little bit, and then he got injured again and so on. But I don't know. I think MLS would be a good place for him. The quality of football isn't really that great, so it would make him look like a star when he actually plays. So anyway, Charlie, what do you think, man?
So I haven't seen the quotes exactly, but I assume what he said was basically, it's not gone great, has it? Essentially. I mean, it's no shocker. At least he knows. I think he'd suit in any league that was just less physical, maybe. Because I think the thing is, his injury problems are going to exist wherever he goes. It makes no difference, right? Like ultimately, he's going to get injured literally no matter where he plays because he's just got reoccurring broken legs, basically. And so if he was to move to maybe perhaps a slightly less physical league, like you mentioned the MLS, but also, I don't know, Spain, for example. I think he'll in Spain. He's the sort of player who would absolutely destroy any Spanish team, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. It's a shame, but I think we're stupid to buy him in the first place, to be honest. Like, I get why there's like a romantic idea there, like, oh my god, if we get him and it works out, then he's this incredible player, and he's unbelievably talented, but it was never ever going to work out ever in a million years ever. But at least he sort of knows that. It must be very disheartening for him to know he's sort of completely broken at this point, because what's he going to do? Where's he going to go? What can he actually do at this point? I don't know.
All right, well, it hasn't worked out for me, I'll be honest, says Wilshere. It hasn't gone the way I wanted it to. I've missed too much football. I haven't played enough games. I want to get back on track, get my career back on track, get playing games week in, week out, and start to feel like a footballer again. The last couple of years have been frustrating. I obviously started my career very well at Arsenal. I was enjoying it. I was loving it, almost taking it for granted. That was the quotes. So now you heard, Wally. What do you think?
Well, I was excited last summer where he had some video or whatever and was like, oh, I've been doing extra training. I'm in great shape. I've been working hard. I'm ready to play this year. And then I don't know what the deal is with him. I think he showed up for a couple of games and then it all, and then it would be like, okay, he's coming back. And then you wouldn't hear about it, but he had injured himself again. He wasn't even on the pitch. He's injuring himself, I don't know, in practice or kicking his wife or whatever he does on Instagram. I don't know. It's really frustrating.
Well, he did play in China in that little friendly tournament that we had, right? That was this season, right? It's so long. I don't even remember anymore. I lost my days. Yeah. It didn't really look that good. I mean, none of us did, but and even when the season kicked off, we didn't look fit. I don't know if you remember the Man City game. We were all talking about how, like, hey, it was Man City, but they didn't look fit either. I mean, they looked exhausted too. But one thing that we were talking about on American Hammers TV is that, and especially Lee, I remember him saying this, was that what the hell did they do all off season? Like, what kind of not rehab, but for the players who were injured, what kind of rehab they do, what kind of fitness, and who's their physio? Like, what the fuck are they doing? Because the team match day one looked exhausted, looked fat, looked like not fit at all. I don't know. You guys have any other thoughts on Wiltshire before we go to the next one down there?
So he has 1 year left, right? Is that more?
It's 1 year, isn't it? With an option, I think.
Yeah.
So I guess we got, he's ours, and I don't think we can sell him, right? So.
I think a MLS team would take him for if we pay half their wages or something.
Wow. Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, the thing is, I feel like there is probably a team in existence that would, take him on loan, especially if it was like a situation where we pay half his wages. But I think ultimately, I don't think we're going to be in a. Maybe we would be in a financial situation to do that, just because it gets, say it's half his wages, that's like 50 grand off the books instantly. Maybe we do that. I don't know, but there will be teams out there who, it's like Andy Carroll. We always knew that at least Newcastle would definitely take him. Like, that was just a guarantee. Like, and there would be other teams who take that risk. I think there are teams who would take that risk. I don't think any smart team would. But then again, there's plenty of dumb teams out there. However, what I would say is, if we're looking at the next window and saying, oh, we're going to try and offload him, there's not going to be a lot of money around. I don't know who's going to have enough money to just take that risk like they usually would, because the money's going to be so short at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he comes back and he plays amazingly. Who knows? We all know it won't happen, but
real quick, people in the chat room are talking about Becky's debut on the network, I guess you'd say. And also we had, I guess Katie did a show as well. So what the AHTV board decided was that we'd give them their own show. Awesome. The two of them. So I don't.
Is the board you?
No, I'm just kidding. Well, no, we have this group chat pretty much of all the people who do anything behind the scenes, and we also have a family chat too, and so on. But for the most part, we were pretty much saying, even Fushizi agrees. They need to do a show together. So we're just trying to figure out what it's going to entail. They need a theme. We're not going to just throw them out there aimlessly. So we're working on what we're going to do with them. We're also working on the game show. We're almost done with the game show. We're going to do a dry run next week for everybody listening in the chat room or anywhere else on Twitch, Facebook, Periscope, whatever. With our good friend Adam from West Ham is Why We Drink. He's going to host it. So that's going to be really cool. It's going to be like a trivia show, and we'll give more details over the next few weeks. But Jazz says that he and Charlie needs their own show. Well, we're trying to get Charlie and Charlie to do a show.
It'd just be me and Jazz would just be like a sort of verging on argument for like an hour. It'd be great. If you want some conflict in your late night American Hammers viewing, then that's the one, really.
Well, we could do Charlie, and Jazz. I mean, maybe, or like I don't know, instead of three Charlies, maybe Jazz means Charlie. And
that'd be good. I'd watch that all day.
So all day. Yeah, so anyway, we're trying to get Charlie Boy and Charlie do something. But these damn contracts, and what do you call it? What's his name? Gio, and Gio gives us a hard time as it is, borrowing Charlie.
Oh, right.
So I don't want to push the.
Do we get
handshake.
Charlie after midnight UK time? Is that the? We have you.
See, I'm very much the Jordan Hugo of Hammers chat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm there and I'm obviously the most important thing, but people refuse to admit that. So I go on loan and then it's like, oh, blah, blah. Bruv, recall Big George is what I'm saying.
Yeah. You know what? We actually, it's funny. They said Chaz and Chaz chats, or Charlie Squared show is another one that popped up. But yeah, we actually know another dude that we could probably throw in there too, Chaz from Maryland. I know he hasn't been on in a while. And I don't know. Anyway, long story short, we got new stuff coming up. So look forward to that. Also tomorrow night, because I don't want you guys to tune out in like 45 minutes from now and not be listening to me anymore. But anyway, tomorrow night, Ray Borum, good friend, is going to do a show. So
Awesome.
Stay tuned for that one. And what were we talking about? Okay.
Ray and his PowerPoints. Is he going to have PowerPoints?
Yes, he's preparing. I don't know what the subject is yet, but he's working on a subject.
He did some great PowerPoints last week.
I think he's trying to get Katie and Rebecca to go on with him. I think he is to give them another show under their belt before we throw them to the wolves. Yeah. That type of deal. So anyway, the next subject is Declan Rice. Don't know what to make of his comments, other than I really don't care. If I don't think Chelsea can afford him anyway. But basically, what he's saying is, I guess he hinted or something like that, or at least his words were twisted to make it sound like he wants or drop that he wants to go to Chelsea and hang with this boy Mason Mount. I really don't know what to make of this. I don't know how to put it. I don't know what the source is. I don't know where this came from. Because if it was the Sun or the Mail or the Telegraph or something like that, it's probably bullshit. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't know who quoted him. I really don't know where it all started, but it's been picked up on different websites like Goal and Yes, the Daily Mail and a few others. So what are your thoughts? Have you guys heard anything about this? We'll start with Costia again and go around.
Yeah, I mean, typically I would go the negative route and say, it's a done deal. I think the only thing that kind of stops Declan from leaving this summer is the coronavirus and the whole situation, everything being delayed. The dream scenario that I think of that we could do to like totally flip the whole thing is offer Chelsea 60 million for Mason Mount, spend the whole transfer budget on him just to keep Declan Rice. Mason Mount is the natural replacement for Noble in the middle, and then you just don't have money for any other position because you spent all your money on Mason Mount. But I think that's about how much you could get him for. Would Chelsea actually sell to us? I think they're thinking it's the other way around. Wait a minute, no, we're getting Declan. You're not getting Mason. What is this about? Yeah. But that's what I would go in with the cheeky offer, see what they say. But no, I mean I ultimately expect Declan to leave unless we were bought out by like a mega billionaire who can immediately make the squad a year. Yeah.
Would you trade Felipe for him?
You think Chelsea would take Felipe? I think Felipe actually does have the quality to be on a Chelsea team where he's really complimented all the way around with him. So why not? Why not? What does Chelsea say though? Because Anderson, is he a middle of the park player? Sometimes I actually like him there, but we play him on the wing quite often. Is it a like for like trade? You rarely see trades now in the Premier League or most leagues.
No,
now.
I know.
It's super rare. That's a great idea though, Tim. I like it. Good shout.
Because the news that we discussed a few episodes ago was that Napoli wants to do a trade for Felipe.
Oh, with Lozano.
Yeah. So instead of that, we say, hey, well, on that note, why don't we just offer him somewhere else instead and get some good player instead?
I don't like that one though. I think Lozano is a Serie A superstar, and I think the minute he comes to the Premier League, he turns into like a slightly better Pablo Barrera. Like I don't think that's a good trade at all.
Exactly. So I would definitely at least offer no takes. There's no way. I don't think Chelsea's ever gonna get let go of Mason Mount. I mean, unless it's a Real or a bigger club, you know what I mean, than Chelsea. Yeah. But I don't see something like that coming in for him either. You're right. They want Declan. And I mean, it's not that we want Mason Mount. We don't even know what David Moyes thinks of Mason Mount. Has he ever been quoted saying anything about that, and we lost Costia. I didn't kick him. Did you guys kick him?
No.
Shit, he just said, well, come back, Costia. There he is.
Man, I clicked the login button and it I was trying to log into the chat and it took me out of the video.
Oh.
Didn't expect that. Sorry.
It's all good. So yeah, you didn't miss anything. You're all good. So what are your thoughts, Charlie?
I'm not convinced Chelsea want him. I mean, the thing is, I was just, if you noticed, I was muted there. I was just looking into it. It comes from a Copper 90 video that they did. They had a video of him and Mount playing FIFA together, just like we had on the main West Ham channel. And Rio Ferdinand, who was hosting it, asked him basically about Mason Mount. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to play with him at club level again because I like playing with him at international, blah, 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 blah. Would he go to Chelsea? Yeah, probably. I think he'd love to go back to Chelsea. Do Chelsea want him? I'm not convinced. I mean, I'm sure they'd have him. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they'd turn him down by any stretch of imagination. But at this point in time, they seem to have kind of got their S word together in that sense. And it would be a situation where, I don't know. I don't think he'd play every week as he would here. I think there are bigger clubs or other big clubs. Just sideswiping me there. That's fine. I think there are other clubs that are big that he would play consistently at. For example, Man United. And when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made those comments the other day about basically taking advantage of having a lot of money in this situation, that's where I would be worried he would go to. I'd be more worried he'd go to Man United because they are a bigger club than us. They've got a bigger profile than us, and he would definitely start there ahead of any of their defensive midfielders, ahead of Matic. Yeah. Whereas at Chelsea, I don't think he would start every week. It'd be one of those things where it's sort of like, I don't know, in, out for him and Jorginho. But I don't know. For him, I mean, he loves Chelsea so much. In my head, I think he genuinely loves the club. He grew up playing there. He like the chance to play under Lampard in a team where it's all young English players. I don't know. Maybe the hokey cokey is what it's all about. I don't know. But I can't see it going to Chelsea this summer. Not this summer. And actually, I think, to be fair, it's just one of those situations where we might sell him just because then all of a sudden we have a transfer budget. Whereas at this point in time, I'm not convinced we're going to have much of one at all. So if we sell Declan Rice and all of a sudden can bring in 2 players and still make a profit and not be in a horrendous financial situation after it, maybe we do it. I
don't see him going to Chelsea for the amount that we want.
Yeah, I agree.
At least this season anyway. I mean, not that they don't have the money. I'm just saying that I don't think that they value him, like you're saying. I don't think that they value him as much as we do. And for what we're asking for, which is, I think, 45 minimum. That's what I've heard. I know the fans want 60 plus, 80, 90, whatever. But I mean, I can't see them spending more than 35 on him, or at least offering that to justify. What are they going to do with him? What would they do with Declan Rice? I mean, would they actually start him?
Not ahead of Jorginho. Well, they might do, but you can't have someone as good as Jorginho just sitting there on the bench.
I don't see them So I don't see them spending that much money, or at least a lot of money, on Declan Rice to not start him this season, unless it was just to fuck us over, to suck our lifeline out. Yeah. But Wally, what are your thoughts on Rice? Comments, whatever.
Yeah, I think we've always known that he'll probably be moving. We'll be selling him at some point, so it's not necessarily surprising. But I agree with Charlie. I don't think he's going to get much playing time at Chelsea between Conte and Jorginho, and so I don't know why he would want to go there. And also, when we played Chelsea away, he was so fired up. He was just he was pouring everything onto that field. He wanted to beat them so bad. So I think he still feels like he wants to get it over on Chelsea. And so I'd be surprised if he wants to go there.
But if Chelsea offered anything for him, really, even if they were to say, I don't know, offer something low, like 30 million, 35 million for him, I think that's when the interest would come out, especially this summer. Not that Chelsea would offer anything for him at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if they did, that's when, man, you would say, no way, man. We want him. And that, or any other club, really. And that's when we could probably get closer to what we want for him. I don't think we'll ever get 80 million for him. Come on. I mean, he hasn't scored goals for a club. You know what I mean? He's still too young to be a leader. I just don't see the value. Whatever. Anyway,
mean,
he's valuable to us. We don't want to lose him.
Let's be real. The value comes from a couple of places. A, he's English, and so if you have a first-team footballer who is English, that's worth £1 billion just because of the fact we have to have a quota, so they're instantly worth more. And if they're actually good enough to start, then Jesus Christ, they're like gold dust. Secondly, I do think he is a very, very good DM. I think he is like one of the better DMs in his age group, especially, but then in the league, he is very, very good. Like comparatively, I went through it once, and I think this was like last season. I put him 10th last year, but that was last year. Like this year, he's significantly better than he was. The guy keeps getting better. Like he's not got worse. His form dipped, but he will continue to continuously grow, and he's super dependable. So at that point, he is worth a lot of money. I don't think anyone's worth 80 mil. Let's be real about it. Like. And he's not, but well, but yeah, I don't know. It's not. It won't happen for 80. If he was to leave, if Chelsea came up or anyone, if they came up tomorrow or whenever the window happens and put anything over 50 million, I suspect it's probably an accepted deal.
Well, Charlie, is he better than Harry Maguire?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
he's more versatile.
Yeah, okay. So here, and I think he's better for your marketing team than Harry Maguire. I think it's really hard to market Harry Maguire. I think Declan is this hip, young, like he's always on social media playing FIFA, and I think he's especially valuable to Chelsea because you'd have this duo that you can promote in England and across the world, like these two young, they play together in the midfield. They've known each other forever. So I think that you could get north of 80 million if you wait another season. And as you say, he continues to get better, which he does. And I just think he has a lot of appeal to him. And I think because he's English and all those things, he has Premier League experience. I think you really could get north of 80 if you're patient. But we don't make good deals. That's the problem. We don't make good deals. Yeah. He should be 80 to 100, and we'll end up with 60.
He will be, but he's not right now. And that's the thing. We discussed this in the show in like the last 2 seasons. Is that his best years are like 3-4 years away. You know, he's not even there yet. He's not even close to his prime, and not just his prime. Not even close to his best. Not even close. He's good, man. He is good.
How much would Sancho go for? And is Sancho? As I say, Sancho goes for, like rumors are saying, plus 100 mil, right? Is Sancho worth that right now? No, of course he's not. But it's because of the potential they have that they go for higher prices, right? Now that means that only puts you in a select bracket. Yep. There are very few teams who can afford to pay that much for potential. And at that point, there becomes a tipping point where it's like it's too far. I think you're right, Costia. I think the smartest thing to do would be to keep him for another year, just because not only because we get him for another year, but because next year he could go for much more money than he could this summer.
Yeah, plus next year is the Euros, right? So if he has a really good Euros, that could bump up his value even more.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. All right, enough of him. Where are we going? All right, so speaking of that position, I guess we've been linked with Eric Dyer. I don't know if there's any truth to that. Would anybody take that dude?
As a replacement for Sanchez. That's about it.
Good one. There you go. Quarter of the night.
Yeah, I mean, if we still have Rice, I don't think we need Dyer. I mean, if we sell Rice, then maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we get Dyer. I don't know.
Do you know what? Depending on how much he's on, I'd take him. I don't know how much he's on, though. And I suspect it'd be more than I'd be willing to pay for it. But let's say he was on the 70K minus.
Sanchez's salary.
Yeah, Sanchez or lower, I would take him. Again, but not for money. I wouldn't pay much for him because I just don't think he's worth it at this stage.
That's why it's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But
Spurs charges premiums.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why it won't happen because they won't deal with us. But he's versatile. He can play in a couple of positions. Like realistically, he'd be there as a backup. And as backups go, I wouldn't be against it.
I'd rather have Rice as center back. To be honest with you, and sell Diop. Get him the fuck out of here.
No, why would you sell Diop for? He's also going to be worth 80 million or so.
He'll never be that good. I don't think. That's why you sell him now while the price is high, and then
I think he's going to be that good.
Listen. I'd sell him to Spurs tomorrow for like 20 million because I'm not afraid that he's going to do anything against us next year because he's not that good. He's too inconsistent.
Wow.
Tim,
Okay.
you're being a lunatic right now. 20
Yeah,
mil, you're being a madman. And I
Okay,
know
thank you.
We should have sold him
No.
last year when they were talking about 50 plus.
Yes,
for
exactly.
Diop. Yeah.
He'll never be worth that much.
I think Issa Diop is the Declan Rice of center back for us, and I think we have to hold on to him as long as possible to get the highest fee possible. I think there's been just too much. Like Jose Mourinho was making those comments about him. I mean, I think those are all for a reason. He's slowly climbed the ladder on the French team, U21, U23. I mean, he could replace Umtiti in a couple years. I think he's worth keeping. I think center back is actually the least of our issues of any position because of him and Ogbonna are so solid. It's everything around them. It's the fullbacks that are the problem.
It's the other what 8-9 players around them that's kind of the problem. But those two there, we're good. We got that bit sorted.
No, I mean, really, I think that we've had really poor fullbacks, and I think that makes a big difference on how our center backs look.
I totally agree. I was only taking this.
No, okay. Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
That's sorted, right, Tim?
Sorry, what?
Nothing. Dario, carry on.
It's chicken or the egg. It's like, what is it? Is Fabianski shit or is our center back shit? I don't know. Which one?
It's the entire.
Who's leading the goals?
Noble.
It's not Fabianski's
West Ham United
fault.
are leading the
Randolph's
goals.
fault. It's the center backs.
West Ham United in the goals.
I thought they were awesome. I thought they were doing great. No. Which one is it? No, it's chicken or the egg, man. Tell me. Chat room, tell me.
It's Noble and the fullbacks. That's the problem.
Fuck that. No way. So it was Declan's fault. Declan sucks.
No. Declan has to do two. Declan has to do two people's jobs in the midfield.
Okay.
Declan has to cut the right passing lane and the left passing lane because Noble's too slow.
It's the egg. That's what Tone says. So whatever that is.
Yeah,
I don't even know which one's which, but it's ketchup. Oh, there you go, Danny. There you go. It's Fredericks. That's what it is. Boom.
I know.
No, not Fredericks.
All right. Moving on. We've been linked with a shitload of other players too in the last few days. I don't even remember who the hell they were, so I'm just gonna look this up real quick. So Boubacar Kamara.
Nope, never in a million years.
Ola Aina. West Ham and Everton target Ola Aina.
That's an easy route.
Whatever the fuck his
Such
name is.
an easy route. Here's an English right back playing quite well somewhere. There it is. Yoink. Who needs a right back? Everton, West Ham.
West Ham and Wolves have been asked.
We have a right back.
West Ham and Wolves have been asked about Milo, where the fuck Rashika, where the fuck his name is from Werder Bremen. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck he plays. And then also West Ham United plotting summer move for Bordeaux striker Josh Maha, who was at Sunderland with Moyes.
It's Maja, Tim. It's Maja.
Whatever the fuck ever, dude. Maja. It's not happening, is what it is. So, would you take him?
Maja, he's better than a Yeti. But don't. Well, the only reason I know that is because I've watched both seasons of Sunderland till I die. And he plays for Sunderland, and actually the reason I don't want him is he's kind of an Arnautovic character. I don't want to spoil season 2 there, but he does really, really well for them and then kind of hangs them to dry. And that's not per se the character that I want because I think we've had too many of those. And he basically does a Sacco where he flies to France and doesn't really before the deal's agreed, before the owner of the club has even talked to Bordeaux yet. So I don't know. He seems like a really prolific striker, but I don't think he's quite Premier League standard.
Yeah, I mean he's played League One football and
he killed it at Sunderland. Scored like every single game. He was the reason they were in the top 3 for so long.
Yeah, so I would take another Arnie type player because we need somebody to kick Anderson's ass. And I think last year Anderson played so well because Arnie was like kicking his ass every time he didn't give him the ball correct. He was like, "Come on,
maybe so."
And
yeah, I guess what is his name? Jazz is in the chat room talking about the guy that we me, was saying not to sign because he is the next Arnautovic, which was Mitrovic. And Jazz really wants Mitrovic. He's also talking about Tyrone Mings is the one, and that's why the chat room is going back and forth. Mings, Aki, Mings, Aki, Aki, Mings, and so on. So they're having a nice little argument over there. So out of any of these players, in any of these positions, any of them you really want to sign? Charlie? And then we'll go zigzag.
I wouldn't sign a centre back unless we sold one of ours. As much as I like the ones that everyone talks about, I wouldn't sign any of them, just because we're going to have limited funds, and so I wouldn't even think about it unless one of ours left. Because, like Costia said, I actually really like all our three main centre backs. I like all of them, even though I think all of them at times have played very poorly. I like them all. With Maja, Maha, or however you want to pronounce his name, I haven't seen something.
Maja.
So I don't know how to pronounce it. I've been meaning to watch it, but I'm lazy. 10 million, I would take him. Of course I would, because 10 mil, that's like next to nothing. I don't know where he gets in that pecking order. I don't know if he's better than Yeti yet. I don't know. I'm not confident enough to make that call. But for 10 million, I would take him. But I just don't know if I'd even buy a striker in the next window, if I'm being honest. I look at it and I think Haller should be the guy. We should be looking to figure out how to best support him. If Moyes looks at it and goes, okay, Maya's the one to do that, 10 mil, yeah, go. Just do it, go. But I don't know. All of them sort of, I don't know. They all sort of just float around that mark, if you know what I mean. But then again, sometimes the mere players are the ones that end up being great. Snodgrass, for example.
Yeah, the only reason why you don't want to sign a striker is because you want Hugel to come back.
Come on. How is he going to get in if we keep buying people in the
Exactly.
I have one goal in life, and we all know what it is.
Wally, any of those names interest you at all?
Yeah, I haven't really heard of them, but if the one striker is kind of an Arnie type, I like that now. I didn't last year. I thought Arnie was hindering Anderson by gesticulating at him and everything. But now that Arnie's left and Anderson seems to have slacked off, I think it was good for him in retrospect. So if this Maha guy can do that, then maybe he's worth a punt. And
maybe.
I think the comparison with Arnautovic straight him. I think the comparison with Arnautovic isn't necessarily because he has this sort of will to win arrogance about him. It was more the way he left. It was more the way he left the club.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier.
Right.
So again, I haven't spoiled.
I'm so sorry for the confusion.
Yeah, I wouldn't spoil something until I die because I haven't watched it. But I did read the papers around the time, and it was more the way he left the club, refusing to sign a contract and some other stuff, as opposed to his will to win, let's say. Although clearly that was there because he was bagging him at League One level.
Yeah. All right, never mind. I don't want a guy like Arnie that's going to, that part of Arnie that would just, leave us in the dirt.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, it's a think of a player. So basically, same thing with Mitrovic, though. Mitrovic is the reason why he's more like Arnie is not because of those things. I mean, he loves whatever club he plays for. He definitely loves the badge and stuff like that. But he is an asshole. He's that type of Arnie. That's what I mean. That's the not the most nicest person on the pitch type of deal, which could be a good thing for us, I guess. I didn't think so last season. I'm sorry, the last off season, but looking at the lack of it since we've lost Arnie,
right?
There isn't anything like that in the pitch anymore. We need fight. So maybe Mitrovic is that type of guy. 24 years old, has experience not at League One. Actually in the Premier League and Championship. If we're going to sign someone who scores goals in League One, might as well go after that Ivan Toney, which was that complete bullshit rumor I created. But the guy leads the league in goals scored. I'm saying in League One. So why not go for him instead of someone who hasn't? So why would we be linked with someone like that? Anyway, all right. Anyway. Whatever. We don't need a striker is the point. So until we get rid of Yarmolenko, we don't need it. We don't need a striker. So next year, if he's healthy, that should be our backup. And Yeti should be, he should go on loan to Championship and learn English football is what he should do. Get roughed up a bit and then come back a better player like he was at Basel. So that's that. And plus, we have Hugo, so we don't need anybody else really. You know what I mean? So that said, what we need is a left back for sure, and because Masuaku is going to be on his way out, we don't have anybody else. Ben Johnson is not a left back; he's a right back, and he's going to be back up to what's his name, Ngakia, because the other fuckface Fredericks is going to find his ass on loan to League One, probably Sunderland. Or someone like that.
Oh, you're killing me, Tim.
Because he's not even good enough.
No, championship.
Oh, even still, yes.
League One is unfair.
All right, fine. All right, but definitely not Premier League. He's definitely not a Premier League footballer. So what else is there? We need. We definitely need. We don't need much really. We need a goalkeeper for sure. We need a goalkeeper that doesn't give up 4 goals to the Leicester City B squad.
Tim, you're gonna have to get over this
and beat his wife. We don't need someone like that. We need a guy who, even when in his first spell with the club, fucking leaked goals. We don't need that either. We don't need him. We don't need that piece of shit. We need David Martin. Love him to death, but he's a third stringer for sure. And we need David Martin. We need him around. He's a great guy. We need him around. But we don't need Randolph. And Fabianski, once you have that injury, I've said this a million times, once you have that hip injury and you're 34 years old, 35 years old, whatever it is, you don't heal the same. It's always in the back of your mind, et cetera, et cetera. And as a goalkeeper, your number one joint is your hip. You know what I'm saying? So you need that. And he ain't got that. And he's not been the same since his injury. And we need someone with youth to be his backup and fight for that and earn that spot. Not saying bring someone in to take his spot. I mean, or, automatically be the number one goalkeeper. We don't need to sign someone like that, but we definitely need a younger player who can compete 100% with Fabianski and try to earn that spot, because Fabianski's not going to be around for 2-3 more seasons anyway. He's not, period. So, at least not any good anyway. I mean, otherwise we'll be in championship like Swansea. So, I don't forget that we signed a fucking keeper who got relegated by leaking too many goals, and we signed him. And
look, ignoring your insanity, right, for a second, I think we do need to think about
what I'm here for.
To an extent, and because he's only got 1 year left on his contract. And if you're a big major club, let's say you're City, Chelsea, United, any of those big teams, Arsenal, maybe not sure about that one, Adam, but let's go on with it. You would look at him and say, actually, if we can bring him in on a free and then have him as our second choice, that's like the perfect second choice for any club. And then at the same time, to be honest with you, if you're any big club in Europe who's playing Champions League football, I would look at Fabianski. Like, if you need a guy to come in, like if you're not one of the top clubs, not Real Madrid, not Barcelona, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're if you're looking at any of the Italian teams, if you're looking at, one of the random teams that come from like random cast countries and who rock up in the Champions League every year, you look at Fabianski, you think, hell yeah, of course I'd take him as a first choice. And he's only got 1 year left on his contract. So something needs to be thought about there. I'm not convinced at this point that Nathan Trott will be ready to take over by the start of next year, the start of next season. I don't think that's going to be the case, not at least to be just lobbed in first choice. So we do need to think about goalkeeper position backup, because like you say, Randolph, there's 15,000 things for Randolph there's a lot of issues surrounding that. And then at the same time, I wouldn't want him to be first choice anyway, even if you ignored those issues. So there is something that does need to be thought about, but it's not your insanity of that he's a bad goalkeeper, because he's just not. But we'll move on.
I didn't say he was
we
bad.
We can't afford a first-team goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Well, that too. I'm not saying get one. I'm just saying get someone with youth that can fight for the position and earn.
We have two, though.
No, we don't.
I'm not.
Those two players. Neither of them are first.
We have 2 kids. No, not yet. But I'm saying with our budget, it's the lowest priority position in this window. I'm not thinking of replacing a goalkeeper until maybe the window afterwards. I'm not sure how good Trott and there's Nathan Trott and there's Joseph Anang, and I don't know if either of them are good enough yet.
And Trott's been sucking with Wimbledon.
Okay.
What the fuck?
How do you know he just doesn't have a bad defense in front of him?
Braintree Town.
was it Trott or was it the centre back? Get this straight, everyone.
Okay, so regardless of how our kids are performing on loan, We need to get a backup goalkeeper, but we are not going to have a lot of money. And I think because of Fabianski's track record and how well he's done in the past, that's not going to be the position where 10, 20, 30 million pounds are spent. It's just not. We have to buy a center mid. We have to buy fullback. No, I'm just saying, like, you're making it seem like this priority area. We can't do anything about it this summer. It's just not in the plans. It's not in the plans. Oh, a backup, sure. It's not going to be Roberto.
Number 2 goalkeeper. We don't have one. Remember what happened to us this year because we didn't have one? Do you remember what happened to us? We got fucking.
We had 2 number 2s, and
we were almost relegated because of not having a number 2.
Our manager should have pulled Roberto much earlier. And I think something about I don't know, maybe because they had rapport because they both speak Spanish or something. He kept him in. He trusted him, and he shouldn't have done that. Should have put Martin in like 3 games earlier than that.
Yeah, but Martin again,
it's very obvious to everyone except him.
The number 2, like I don't think we could have. I don't think Martin. How do I put it? Martin would have done a better job than Roberto, absolutely, but he still wouldn't have. I mean, he's not a number 2 man. He's not. So basically, he doesn't deserve to be starting regularly in the Premier League.
We're going to get someone on a free transfer to be backup.
7 games.
It's inevitable. It's going to be a free transfer. So look up who are the best goalies out of contract this summer. We're going to go for someone in the top 10. Because that's what the budget is.
I will say this:
we have to spend money on the midfield.
When you look at goalkeepers, is an interesting one, right? Because every summer there is a raft of actually genuinely good goalkeepers for free transfers, just because teams don't see it as so much of a priority that they tend to let go quite capable second choice goalkeepers. Like for example, last season or the season before, whenever it was, when we would get a link to like someone like Willy Caballero, who anyone can say whatever they want about him. The dude's much he's capable of being a second choice Premier League goalkeeper all day for any team. There's so many people like that just sort of float in the system, in the ether. Adrian was one of them. Adrian we brought in from a free when he ran down his contract at Betis, and then he went on a free to Liverpool. These things just happen in the goalkeeper world. It's quite a weird position in that sense. There are always way more than good enough goalkeepers to get in on free transfers during the summer transfer window. It's just about finding the right ones. And unfortunately, last season, what we did was we found the wrong one. But that's not to say we can't do it again. I agree with Costia in the sense of I don't think we have the budget, to be honest. I think we have I cannot stress how little I think we're going to have in the summer. It's going to be, I thought it was going to be like 20 mil before everything happened. And now everything has happened. I can't see it being basically next to anything.
Well, before it happened, they said before it happened, there was rumors floating around it was going to be 40.
Yeah, but rumors schmoomers, bro. Like this is the same way that like David Sullivan claims Joe Hart was his signing when he got it because he was all hyped, and then the second it went wrong, he went, "Oh, it wasn't me." Like these things get said, you know what I mean? I feel like in reality, it's gonna be, my brain always thought, okay, let's say around 20 mil. Now everything's happened, bro. So I think there are like free transfer options there. It just means actual free.
Charlie,
listen, if you want someone in goal, let me sing the song of my people, okay? Jordan bloody Hugo will do a job. I'm telling you, he'll do anything, bro. The man just wants to walk in front of the bubbles. Let him go. Sorry, Costia, gone.
I don't remember.
Oh, we lost Costia.
No, I was going to say the impression you just did of Sullivan, it was very quick. You lost me. I'm here. I think you just lost me, maybe. I'm still here. I didn't touch anything. No, what I was saying, Charlie, is your impression of Sullivan sounds exactly like the voice that I hear when I see him. So I think you should take that show on the road because that was really spot on, man.
I will do that
again. That was hilarious.
If anyone wants me to take that on the road, I will do that. I'll bring tickets. It'll be a ticketed event. I will do it for very cheap, £5 anyway.
So we're gonna move on, but before we do, I have to explain myself, I guess, because
it
does sound like I hate Fabianski. It does sound sometimes like I'm saying he's a horrible goalkeeper. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we can obviously do better, and I'm saying that we need another goalkeeper that can fight for that position because with the injury that Fabianski has. And since he has been shit since he came back from his injury, it's likely that's a hip injury for a goalkeeper is an injury that once you damage it pretty good, it's going to come back. It's going to come back again. And I don't trust anybody to do a stretch of 6-7 games backing him up while he heals. Okay, I trust David Martin for a game or two. That's about it. I don't trust Randolph at all. I didn't trust Roberto at all. So my point is, we need that person because it's gonna happen again. Fabianski's gonna get hurt again. So I'm not saying Fabianski's shit as much as I'm saying we need someone to be there. And also, once he says, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this anymore. My hip hurts too bad. I don't want to keep getting injured. I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm 36, 37, 38, whatever. Doesn't matter what year it is. But he's 34 right now. And my point is, we need someone to fight for that position, fight for that, number one position.
Tim, I have the solution. Fabianski stays in goal. Ogbonna takes the goal kicks because that's how Fabianski injured himself. Then he won't get injured anymore if somebody else takes the goal kicks.
Well, then Ogbonna's going to get injured, and you're going to have to start Balbuena again. Oh,
I know a guy who would be willing to take the goal kicks.
Yeah, there we go.
I know a guy. I'm just saying. He currently wears blue and white. And
but he can't take the goal kick to himself.
Bro, listen, you haven't seen it. He's quick, bro. I'm telling you, he's got straight. He's like a cheater.
We can have a goal kick specialist, just like American football, you have like kick specialists. So.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can't name your favorite goalkeeper. Tompkins doesn't count. Okay.
Yeah, we bring Tompkins back to do goal kicks. Yeah.
There you go, man. Well, well, we wouldn't need a goalie if we had Tompkins back as center back. Let's just put it that way. There's your chicken and the egg situation. It would have a solid defense. We wouldn't have to worry about it. We could actually have David Martin starting every single game, and I wouldn't be worried. But anyway, so what were we talking about next? No, fuck it. Just the links and stuff like that. Let's do a few hammers polls before we get out of here. We only got about 13 minutes or so left. Thank you. Listen, everybody in the chat room. I mean, thank you guys so much, even though half of you were talking shit to me. I still love you all, and it's so nice to see you. Because listen, there was tons and tons and tons of comments. There's a lot of banter going back and forth with each other in there as well, which is nice to see. So they're having a good time. Right. I'm going to find some hammers polls if there's anything new and worthy. Looks like Lee answered them all, so I really can't bring them on. All right. So bottom line is we'll do, I think, two that haven't been answered already by our good friend Lee. And answer along with us in the chat room if you don't mind, please. We'd love to see your comments as well.
Keep them.
Yeah. So what are we doing with Anderson? Keep him or sell him? And this is a good one. We've got 444 votes. That's good for them. So let's start with Costia. I think he said,
yeah, man. No, I very, very funny. No, man, you have to keep him. I think selling him. I actually think that we have this issue where we always have, except for that one Pellegrini first summer window, we always have a budget deficit, and we're always talking 20 to 30 million, which is abysmal for a Premier League team and embarrassing, plus whatever we make on sales. And I think the only reason we're talking about selling Anderson is because people are thinking, well, that's not enough. We need to, where are we going to generate funds? It's not going to be from Yarmolenko, Sanchez, Wilshere, Zabaleta, whoever else is leaving. So he would be the money generator if you keep Declan Rice. But I think it's stupid to sell him. I think it's really dumb. I think he's quite a talent. And I think just because he had a bad spell for a few months there, he was adjusting to new coaching. And I keep him. I play him in the middle, actually. Forget Lanzini. Play him up top in the middle behind the striker.
That should be the question. It should be about Lanzini. Then that's the
absolutely.
opposite answer, really. I mean, yeah. So, Charlie, what do you think?
I think the reason it's not Lanzini is because most people have the same opinion on Lanzini at this point, right? It's just
that's automatic, yeah.
Yeah.
If the right money came in, I'd sell him, but I don't think we'll get what I would think the right money would be. So keep him all day. I think the thing he's had, in my mind, he had one very good season and then one quite bad season. Like that still balances out. Like I'd still keep him because, just to be honest with you, I just don't think we'd get the money for him. That I say if someone went, here's 40 mil, they'd go have him, go hog wild. But I don't think we'd get 40 mil for him. So no, keep him. I think when he's at his best, he's too good. He's too good to miss, to be honest.
All right. Shit, how do we get this off now? All right. So it looks it's 50-50 in the chat room pretty much. Wally, what do you think?
I think we keep him. I think he's excellent. He's exciting to watch. And a summer with Kevin Nolan on his ass,
Yeah.
he is going to light a fire in Anderson's ass, and Anderson's going to be great next season.
See, that's who needs a long-term deal is Kevin Nolan.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I think Anderson, I'm convinced now he just needs somebody to kick his ass, like Arnie was doing it last year. I thought that was counterproductive, but in retrospect, I think that was what he needed. So I think if Kevin Nolan can light a fire under him, then we'll see a great Anderson next season.
Well, it's virtually 60-40 for keep him. So yeah, that's a good one.
Katie K says keep him, sell the board. I couldn't agree more.
Well, that's 100%. Skip this shit. Fuck that. All right, there we go. I don't want to see any more Billich.
We answered that one already. Anyway, kind of in our discussion. Ooh, here's a good one.
Yeah. So today's big question comes from Nigel Kouachi. All right, former West Ham midfielder. Which player was I most impressed with when I moved to West Ham? Was it Mark Noble, Carlos Tevez, Scott Parker, or Craig Bellamy? So which player do you think Nigel was most impressed with when he moved to West Ham? Let's go down the totem pole. How about Wally?
Oh, wow. Well, I don't think it would be Mark Noble because Noble was pretty young at the time.
Yeah.
I would say Craig Bellamy. He was quality, I think. So that's where I'm going with.
Charlie.
I'm trying to think. I don't even know if Tevez played with him, but Bellamy was a banger. Like, people forget how good Craig Bellamy was. Like, both at international and club level. Like, the dude scored wherever he went consistently. He's known as a bit of a dickhead on the training ground, but he got results. But that was because he just demanded higher, and I think people played better when he existed because of that. People forget that, but probably, I mean, if you think about it, midfielder, so probably Scott Parker, just because Scott Parker was legitimately one of the best midfielders in the league that year.
Yeah, the chat room is like 50-50 Parker and Bellamy, and not one person has mentioned Tevez.
That's what I was going to go with, actually.
So, Wally, I already asked you. Never mind. Costia.
Yeah. Noble's too young. And the thing is that what I know about Kouachi is that we might have had him at the same time as Parker and Bellamy on our wage books, but he was on loan a lot, and we only really had him around for that 1 year. So unless he's talking about during a preseason or something, I think it has to be Tevez.
Okay. And I will say Noble just to be different because it's probably the one that we least expect him to say. Maybe he's talking about on the training pitch. Who knows what he's saying? So two of you did say Bellamy, right? Or was it one each?
I said Parker. I love Bellamy, but I reckon it's genuinely one of the two midfielders just because he's a centre mid. And so
I'm sorry.
He's great. But I would say Parker.
So then we have one of each then. Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah, one of each.
All right. Well, the chat room says Parker. Pretty much, it's now dominating Parker over Bellamy. So we'll do Parker, see what happens, and it.
Well, that's the vote. What's the actual answer?
That is the vote. Yeah. Holy shit. How does that work?
Right.
Fuck.
We'll have to wait and see until.
Yeah. Shit. All right. Well. Tune in tomorrow to find
Tune in tomorrow
to find the answer to this one.
I googled it and it's almost impossible to find. But one article says he said that about Christian Daly.
No shit.
No, I'm just pulling your leg, Tim.
Oh, right. That's my favorite song, by the way. But the favorite West Ham song is Christian Daly's song. Yeah, we're Diddy Anderson. Let's see if we can go further down. No, they've all been fucking asked. God damn it, Lee. Answer them on your personal.
Eric Dyer? Well, no.
Yes or no? No.
No.
Yeah. God damn it, man. Fuck. All right, whatever. Well, forget that. All right. Well, hello, chat room. You guys want to ask us anything before we leave? you guys want us to talk about anything? Is there any burning desires or anything we forgot to mention that you guys want to talk about? Or how about this, Costia, Wally, or Charlie? Is there anything we should talk about?
Well, the Olympic Stadium is going to save 10 million pounds approximately from the rest of the season being canceled or postponed, and not having to do baseball and all that, and changing the seating arrangement up. And so they're saving 10 million, and because of that, the London Legacy Development Corporation is not obligated to sell because the loss is not as heavy as they predicted. And that's fresh news from Claret and Hugh just an hour ago or so.
That's right.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Interesting development.
Shit, I forgot to mention. I'm gonna be on. Shit, that sucks because at the same time as we're doing a show, I forgot about that. I'm gonna be on Kiwi Hammers TV tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time while Ray's doing his show at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, damn it, didn't work that one out well. I didn't even think about that. Well, not that I mean, oh shit. What do you watch? What do you watch?
So,
watch one on your phone and the other one on your TV or computer or laptop or tablet.
I'm going to talk shit in
that
both
means
chat rooms.
he's. Oh,
there you go.
So are they recording from New Zealand? So it's like noon the next day over there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. He can tell you about the future.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So last time we had Kieran on from Australia. That was weird. It was daylight, and we were doing the show at I think 8 p.m. Eastern time, and he was I forgot what time it was, but it was in the morning, like 10:30 in the morning or 10 in the morning, and I was like, wow, it's like talking to you in the future. It's weird. So what's the weather like tomorrow? But it was nice. Anyway, 12 p.m. New Zealand time, he says. All right, yeah, so definitely doing that tomorrow, and Ray's doing a show here with I hope the ladies with Ray, because I think Rebecca and Katie will be on with Ray, and I will be on Kiwi Hammers TV. So make sure you subscribe to their channel too. Make sure you subscribe to Hammers Chat, but I don't have to tell you that, and I hate telling you that because you already were subscribed to them, so you don't need. I mean, I don't need to tell you to do that. So between them and West Ham Fan TV, they don't need the help. We need the help.
I know someone who needs help.
Tim.
They get more people in their chat room. They get more people in their chat room than we get subscribed to our channel.
Tim, you were right, by the way. You were right, Tim.
I missed that. What'd you say? Come on.
Oh, well, go ahead, Charlie. Go ahead.
I was right.
No. Carol.
Oh, well, no. So, Tim, you were right that, but I mean, you picked him by kind of default, but Noble was who Kwashi was the most impressed with, according to Thomas.
Thomas knows all, so.
No shit. No.
Yeah, he must have found it.
Well, I figured sometimes when you get a question like that, it's usually like the least likely answer.
Yeah.
I mean, what everybody else would think would be the opposite of. So, I don't know who else is going to be on with Ray tomorrow, but somebody else. And then make sure you tune into both episodes. And what else? Shit, I forgot. AmericanHammers.net. Listen, we got some cool shit in there, and I'm not joking. There's actually some shit in that shop, like that beautiful Philadelphia Hammers or West Ham Philly shirt right there. It's so gorgeous. Seriously, I bought one for my son. He loves it so much, the West Ham Philly one. And listen, so basically, if you buy a shirt like that or whatever, if it's a supporters group shirt, they get half the proceeds, which is cool. I know DC Irons is in that shop. I know Boston Hammers and so on. And then there's some new designs. Dude, Alex created a Minecraft guy with a West Ham kit on. Looks like a Minecraft Bobby Moore. And it's not just cool for kids, but I mean, I'd wear it. Forget it. It looks cool. And then there's another one that has like the GSB out logo, but it says cancer out, and the proceeds go to Isla's fight. So check that one out. And then there's also other stuff in there too. There's tons of other shit in there. Really cool stuff. And then listen, if you go to like the UK shop that we have, there's like underwear and fucking awesome stuff like that. I'm telling you, really cool shit. So anyway, we got the show tomorrow night. We got 2 shows, blah, blah, blah. And then Wednesday night, we're going to be interviewing somebody. I forgot who, but we're going to be interviewing another like West Ham supporter. And hopefully this weekend, we're going to be doing another special guest interview. We've got four former West Ham players that said yes.
Wow.
2 of them I have not seen on other West Ham shows, and then 2 of them I have. So is what it is.
Are they secret?
Recycling it. Yes, until we get the date. Because if I say I'm going to get so and so, what's going to happen is Gio is going to go ahead and get them before I get them on, or Nikki, or what's that guy from that podcast, Dave. They'll get them before me, and then I'll be pissed. So I need to hold on to it. But anyway, cross your fingers and all that shit. We'll have a good interview on Sunday, and then Friday Night Lights. The tournament continues on Sunday.
Yeah, tune into that.
That's with Ian Bishop and Alex.
Yep.
And Charlie Walsh. Yeah.
Go Bish.
I'm in for the dub. I'm gonna make it as difficult for Ian Bishop, as you can tell, a very serious human being. And I'm gonna make it as difficult for Ian Bishop to win as humanly possible. And Alex. Alex is the one I'm truly scared of, because Alex is actually, Alex has got the brain. He's a smart guy. He's doing tech stuff all the time. He's out here techers and that. But we'll see what happens.
He is the only one in the tournament. How do I put it? Not the only one, but he was the one in the tournament that actually had the biggest lead that didn't even need the chat room vote. And he won the chat room vote. I didn't even need it. Most of the shows.
The chat room vote is really what is definitive about that game, because it's always Wally is a very even-handed judge, and he loves everyone. And so it's always kind of like 16, 15, 14. And then the chat room comes in heavy with their opinion, and boom, you have a winner. Yeah. It seems to be a consistent pattern.
We've had a bunch that it was like
no feelings over here or anything.
Person be 1 point lead, and then they'd win the 2 points, and then all of a sudden win the thing. Ian Bishop was losing in points. And then he won the chat room vote and ended up winning the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I think Bish is the favorite, ultimately.
Well, Alex crushed his show. Like I was saying, like he had like a 6 or 8 point lead going into the chat room vote, and he won the chat room vote. And so he ended up winning by like 8 to 10 points or something like that, which is the biggest so far in the tournament. I can't remember who he went up against, but it was a good show. So far.
JP, John.
Oh, Wayne and JP. There you go.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I have it here.
It's fun. Oh, that's right. That's your notepad. There you go.
Yeah.
Just quickly, can I just mention, Wally? You're looking great. You've been working out. You're a hench at the moment. I don't know. Listen, I might talk about it more on Sunday. I don't know, but it's just. I
remember last week when you put me in my place about Frederick. So I'm still, even though you did it very gently, I'm still a little hurt about that.
I backed you to a very small extent on Fredericks, and it was very small, and I wouldn't give me anything because of it, but it was very small, Wally. I hope you remember that.
With the liquor stores being closed in Pennsylvania, what you need to do is you need to send them some alcohol somehow, or deliver to them.
Listen, the post office is shut, but I'm sure I can find a way. Find a way.
Well, you have to go to the neighbor post office then, because they're not all shut. Only some of them.
I had to drive to Delaware to get some booze, so.
Drove to a different state.
Yeah.
How long of a drive is that?
It's about 40 minutes. It's not bad.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
But still. Yeah. It wasn't for me. It was for my wife.
All right, guys, listen, I can't thank you, the chat room, enough that they're still in there, even though a bunch of them checked out when I started mentioning the website and shop, which is expected. But everybody else that's still in the chat room, thank you guys for sticking around. Anybody watching on Twitch, Facebook, or Periscope, please head on over to the YouTube channel and click subscribe, click the notification bell, because we put random shows up all the time, sometimes without even being announced. So you need that notification bell. Also, if you liked this video, please click the like button. And then obviously, we just started putting videos on Twitch. We need more viewers over there. So if you guys have a Twitch account or whatever, check out our live shows when we do it over there. Because, it'll be cool if we could try to grow that, even if you don't really watch it all the time. But again, if you're on Facebook, Periscope, or YouTube, make sure you're subscribed on our YouTube channel. That's what matters most for the channel. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you three off the air. Come on, you fucking irons.